What's going on, everybody? What a week it has been. Good Lord. And it's still going on. It's still not 100%. Been having some major eBay issues. And so we're going to talk about those. Why don't we? So if you're keeping track of me and watching my stuff, there's a reason I haven't been listing the last week. Unfortunately. Okay, so I never knew I had an eBay limit, because I never asked for an increase, apparently. So I signed up for WebInterpret a while back. And if you don't know what WebInterpret is, it is a company, I think they're based out of France, and they work with eBay, and they put your listings on 6 international eBay sites: Australia, Germany, France, the UK, and to help increase sales. So it was working real good for the free time I did it. So I went up and signed up for the $50 a month. And well, as they were adding, I started reaching my eBay limit. And actually, not only did I reach it, I surpassed it. I mean, my limit was like $10,000 a day or a month, which is weird because I put up more than $10,000 in a month. So I don't understand what happened here, but it went to like $109,000 a month with all these extra listings. So I never, like I said, I never knew I had a limit because I was listing, in the month of December, I listed $43,000 worth of merchandise, but it said my limit was $10,000. So I don't know what happened there. It all started acting kind of weird and goofy. So I'm like, well, crap, maybe I'll go end one of the sites, because I believe it was Spain and Italy, France. I don't know. A couple of the sites I was not really getting a lot of sales on. I had like $85 in 4 weeks, and the other one I had $50 in 4 weeks. So I went to turn them off, figuring, I'll knock that back so I don't have to mess with the increase thing. And before I did that, I called to get an increase. They could only get me up to like 20,000 and like $2 million worth of product increase. Well, no, not even that, because she had to do it up to $1 million, and I needed more than that, so she had to send it to another department or whatever to get okayed to up it to $2 million. So right now I'm sitting at 120,000 items at $2 million, and I'm actually getting ready to hit that. But I think it's because some things are getting doubled. Because here's what happened. So when I went to end 2 of the countries, I didn't think nothing of it. Thought it would just end my items on those countries. But either this caused it, or was a part of a whole situation, like a perfect storm or something. I don't know. They still couldn't really figure out what was going on. It ended 11,000 of my items on the US site. It was only supposed to end 11,000 of Spain and 11,000 of France or something like that. And I ended up eliminating $11,000 on my US site. But what it did was the items that were sponsored still showed up on eBay. So it's like I only had one listing, the promoted listing. The original one vanished. It disappeared from my store, from my active listings list, and it was a mess. So I called. It took me 2 days and 5 people at eBay to get them to understand what I was trying to say. Nobody wanted to write a trouble ticket, because they couldn't comprehend what was happening. They kept making excuses, saying it was queued up. I forget what they call it. It starts in I. It was in, I don't know, it didn't really make sense. But queued up to go live on eBay. So I kept taking their little, info, like, yeah, okay, whatever. Hang up. Done some more homework, write some more notes down, call back, get another person, try again. Finally, it was 3 days in, 5 people later, I finally got a woman who understood what I was saying. I gave her some new ways to show her what I was saying, what was happening. Because she didn't even know that when you promote a listing, you have 2 listings in a search. So I showed her a friend of mine's listing and gave her the item number. She looked it up, and there was his regular listing and his promoted listing. I go, that's what mine's supposed to look like. I only have the promoted listing and it says sponsored on it. So she finally wrote a ticket. Also, I emailed the WebInterpret website and Facebook website. I mean, I was hitting them everywhere because I was freaking out because my sales just went straight down. I was freaking. So nobody's gotten back to me about what the problem was, or even if it's 100% fixed. I know it's not 100% fixed, but today my items started showing back up, and some of the things that I had listed that just totally vanished because they weren't sponsored, they started showing back up. But there's still a lot of items that are missing, and a lot of items where the sponsors, this promoted listings just showing up. Now I'm hoping, now that they're all seem to be in my active listings, that they're going to recycle, because of some of them I put up a while ago say new listing today. So I'm hoping they did something so the items are recycling and it'll all straighten out maybe over the next 30 days. I don't know. It's been a pain in the ass, but I can tell you the one good thing is, I guess, recycling all my merchandise, because I had about 15,000 items. Sales yesterday and sales today are off the charts. Off the charts. The sales the last 2 days is what I expect every day with the amount of time and the product I put up. I always had a theory that eBay limits the amount of money you can make via buy it nows. I just always had that theory. And what's weird is on these monthly limits here, it says 1.7 million listed and sold. 98,867 listed and sold of $120,000. So if they can gauge that, can't they also say, okay, you can't make so much money, or you're only this, or you're only that? I don't know. That's just my theory, because it always seemed weird that I always pretty much average the same amount, no matter how much I increase my inventory value. Just a theory. And the fact the last 2 days have been super sky high. That's exactly what I expect every day I should be doing. So the last 2 days have been great. Everything's still kind of a mess. I'm still waiting for things. I did a test list of items this morning, about 3 or 4 items, to see if they'll show up on eBay, and if they show up, will they be messed up? So those still haven't showed up, and that was this morning. So we're almost going on 12 hours that I did those, and they're still not live on eBay. So my guess is it's in this big whole, queued waiting to go up part of eBay that before an item goes live. But I gotta think that it's a little slower, because I never had an item queued like that before. Every other time, I mean, I list daily, and I list literally all day from morning till night, and I've never had a time where my item wasn't immediately shown up on eBay. Never. It's always wound up, boom, right there. So it's always kind of strange. And like today, a few of the listings that I saw that I had put up were up, and then they disappeared. But that happened once before, when all this was going on too, where I thought I lost 200 new listings, and then they showed up. So they are up there now, and those are correct. So I'm hoping it's all going to be straightened out as it all recycles and what have you. So I wrote a couple of titles down that I know are missing, and I'll check on them later. Like I had one sell, my first sale on Poshmark, which I went ahead, during all this, I started freaking out. So I listed about 40 items about Poshmark to try that out and get the hang of it, so I can get more stuff over there. One item finally sold off of there. So I went to end it off eBay, and I couldn't find it. It was gone. So what I did was went to, what did I do? Went to TrueGather or Bonanza, got the exact title, and I searched it on eBay and found my sponsored link, which was happening before. I could find a sponsored link on eBay, but it wasn't showing up in my store or active, if that makes sense. It's very fucking confusing. So I was able to get the sponsored link. But the weird thing is, to make it even more confusing, and this is why the first 2 or 3 people I spoke to couldn't comprehend what I was saying, is because they look things up differently. Now, I've never done this. So if you're on eBay and you go to listings, you hit listings and it takes you to active, okay? The way they were looking it up is this. They would take the item number and they would put, where it says item title, they would go down to, come on, item ID is equal to, and then put in the item number. Well, when you put in the item number, the sponsored listing comes up too. So they were seeing one listing saying, no, that listing's live, it's there. And I'm like, no, that's the sponsored listing. That's not the original listing. But like I said, the one didn't even know that you have 2 listings when one's promoted. I mean, I literally felt like I was beating my head against the wall trying to speak to these people because they just want to blow you off and make it seem like it's something quick and easy. Because I'm sure they get a lot of people with just simple questions and simple problems, simple issues that are just more created from the seller themselves, as opposed to just sit around and wait, it'll be okay, as opposed to real problems and real issues. So I felt like I was kind of blown off a lot. And so it really sucked bad. If that makes all sense, it's fucking confusing as fuck. So now that everything's regenerating and re-going through everything, what's happening is the web interpreter place that puts it on the 6 sites, it ends it, and then it relists it. So then it's, instead of 1 item being relisted and going to my limit, it's 7 items going into my limit. So I'm already pushing into the yellow on the limits again. So with all this, once it's done, we'll see where I'm at, and then I may call back and try to get another increase to make sure this crap don't happen again. But damn, is it confusing. So anyway, I started selling on Poshmark. Got like 40 items on there. So I just did a quick 40 just to try to get the feel of it. And it was pretty easy when it comes to the shipping part of it. I'm not going to get into the whole sharing thing, at least not now. I don't have the time to deal with that. Just putting it up there to see if the stuff sells, kind of like an extra extension of eBay. So 1 item out of 40 so far is sold. And then also I've probably got about a minimum of 30,000 cassette tapes in storage that I've bought over the past 18 years. So I'm going to put some time, while I can't really list right now because it's still not 100% ironed out. I am just going through cassettes and putting them up on Discogs. And I put about 300 up today. So I'm just going to go through. I'll probably, over the next couple of days, just work on this. Since I can't really do anything on eBay until it all straightens out. So I gotta start spreading things out a little bit, because it was too, I was worried I was gonna have to relist all those 11,000 items by taking the pictures all over again and stuff like that. And that would have really sucked. The good thing is, though, a place like Bonanza and TrueGather, if you're not familiar with those sites, they all piggyback off eBay. They talk to each other. That's the only reason I use those sites. Sales are very low on it, but there's no maintenance to them. They communicate with each other. They end each other. So if something sells on Bonanza, it ends on eBay, then ends on TrueGather, and vice versa. If it sells on eBay, it ends on both of those. So it's real simple. No problems. You don't have to mess with it or anything. The shipping's a little bit of a pain in the ass. But because you got to do manually through, I use stamps.com, and so I had to do it manually through there, because stamps.com don't have a setup for Bonanza or TrueGather to pull information from it. So that is what that is. But the good thing is, my point was, I don't know if you remember back several months ago where eBay had that issue where it lost all those pictures, and it lost tons and tons of pictures for everybody. Well, I don't know about everybody, but a lot of people. And they were unable to recover those pictures. I don't remember how many hundreds of items I had come up with missing pictures. So the good thing about having like Bonanza, I only had Bonanza at that time, not TrueGather. And I was able just to go to Bonanza, pull up the item. So I'd copy the item from eBay, title, paste it into Bonanza, title, and then copy my pictures to my computer, then upload my pictures back to eBay. So I didn't have to go, pull every item, redo the picture, and all that. So that was a good thing. So if you're not doing like something like Bonanza or TrueGather, I would recommend doing it because it's almost like a backup for your items. And that's the thing too with this, when I was having the issues with my one item missing, but my sponsored item there, it was almost like my items were lost in limbo somewhere. You couldn't see them, but they were feeding the sponsored and the promoted listings, because if they would have ended, the sponsored item would have ended too. And also my items on Bonanza and TrueGather didn't end. So they still had the items there. So I did do a couple where I took the sponsored listing in that sponsored, ended it, and then relisted it and used like the pictures and stuff off the Bonanza TrueGather. So, and actually I think those are still missing. I gotta remember which ones those were and see if I can find them. That would really suck. I only did like 4 just to test it and see how if when it uploaded new, like a new listing, to see if it went up messed up, and it did. When I listed those new items, they went up as just a sponsored listing and not the original. So the originals were going somewhere in limbo. I don't know where the hell they did. I don't know if it was the web interpreted place who did it, or I don't know if it's eBay with their whole new promotion upgrade that they did, at the bottom of the item page that screwed everything up, or a combination of both. I don't know. It's still confusing to me, and I'm still babying it and trying to, take notes of what's still wrong and what's still missing, and hopefully by Monday it'll all be straightened out. The girl who I talked to last, who actually put in the trouble ticket, said she'll give me a call back probably Monday and update me on what's going on. So I hope to have a lot of notes for her just to check on Monday and make sure that those are working correctly and my missing items are back up. Because another thing I was fearing was, as my items are ending, the ones that are not promoted, are they just vanishing because they were only that one listing? So I'm trying to figure that out. That's the harder part to figure out. I wrote a couple down that was going to end soon, and so I'm going to go back in about a few minutes and check those and see if they disappeared or if they're still there or what have you. So, because I got them good till canceled. So we're going to see how they recycle. Hope that makes sense to you. I don't know. It's a pain in the ass. So what I've been doing is just cleaning and organizing. I brought a whole bunch more stuff in on my listing shelves to get listed once this mess is taken care of. And I'm going back to Discogs and get a bunch more cassettes up there. So that's where I've been. That's why I haven't been listing or making videos or going out picking, because right now I'm just in a stalemate till everything gets straightened out, since I can't list on eBay right now. So that's what's going on. So just to update. So hopefully soon I should have a new shoe video coming for all my Soul Cave people out there. I was able to get a shoe I wanted today, and it's coming. And hopefully we'll have a pick. I might go thrifting next Wednesday, because I gotta make a trip past one of my favorite thrift stores. So when I go drop my tax stuff off at my tax people's place, and I pass one of my favorite thrift stores, the Savers. So I'm gonna hit that Wednesday. And so hopefully I have, hopefully I have a picking window, hopefully a picking and a shoe video come Wednesday or Thursday. So there we go. So sorry for the long video. Sorry for that confusing as fuck video. And now you know how I feel. I'm still mind jumbled, mind fucked because of what's going on. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you hopefully next week, next Thursday, whenever that is. And what is today? The 1st. So around the 6th or 7th, I'll have a couple of new videos for you. If not before then, if something happens before then, I'll get back on. And 23rd is my birthday, so don't forget to buy me something or go to my store and buy something for my birthday and give it to yourself, but I get the money. All right. Talk to you guys later.